Oops. Good evening. I clicked the wrong thing. Forgive me. Good evening and welcome to Winning Wednesday. And it's the Win Without Perfection or Permission podcast. I'm your host, Charlotte Stallings, and it's my delight to be with you tonight. Thank you for being here. I hope you've had a good day, a good productive day. Wednesday is like hump day. It's the middle of the week, and we can say we've got half of it behind us and we've got a few more to go. So thank you for being here. Our goal every other week is to showcase people who are winning in life, in business, in all aspects of their life. And they're doing it without needing to get a lot of affirmation from a lot of people. They're doing it even if there are missteps or mistakes. And that's the whole goal. I'm a curator of content. And so pulling people together who can share their stories, and all for the purpose of encouraging others. And I wanted to have some young folks on tonight, young people who can share from their perspective. We've heard this term adulting a whole lot, and it's about making decisions, and even it's the mundane things like cooking and cleaning, things like that. And so what's it all about? How are they adjusting? And moreover, tips that they can provide for us as parents, because one of the guests is my daughter, and what can we keep doing to strengthen them, to encourage them, to support them? And how about the younger folks, those who are a little bit younger than them, or maybe middle school or high school right now? What about encouragement for them? And just they're going to share their experiences. So I'm really delighted that they're here. I'm going to pull them in. So it's Leslie Boyd and Milan Stallings. And here's how I know them. Well, of course, I know Milan. She's my daughter. And we've been on before. And Leslie, I feel like I've known her all her life in church. I think I taught her sister or older sister, both of her sisters in children's church. So Leslie feels like my child as well. And so they're both 25. Milan turned 25 in October, Leslie earlier in the year in April. They're both college graduates. They're both amazing, productive, beautiful, smart, funny young ladies, and I'm delighted to have them here. So for everybody who's here, can you just give it up? You give it up. Yay, Tara's here and some others are here. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to bring in Leslie. Hey, Leslie, how are you?
Let's see. I'm good. I'm good. I'm so
Hey.
excited to be here.
Aw, I'm
Yeah,
excited that you're here too, Leslie. I like the puff. The puff is puffing. And then
thank
I've
you.
got my sweetie. You all knew her for years as Swimmer Girl. And I call her, well, now she's sweetie because she's grown and I can't keep calling her Swimmer Girl. So, hey, Milan, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Good. You're so funny. I'm all like, and you're like, hello, how are you? You're kind of more, like calm and chill compared to me. So, hey, I am so glad that you all are here and folks are online and they're clapping for you. So, what I want to do is jump right into the conversation, and I'll ask both of you, just tell us a little about, what you majored in college. Just tell the people something about you so they know more than what I've shared, like you were my children's church little people, and that I really love you a whole lot. I really, really do. And I'm super proud of both of you. So, Leslie, we'll start with you. How about you? What do you want folks to know about you and what you got going?
Okay, so I'm 25. Everybody knows that. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, all day, every day. But I currently reside in Beaumont, Texas. Was it my plan? No, it wasn't. I did not want to be out here for this long. But I did graduate from Lamar University. I am the first generation graduate, and I majored in business marketing.
Yay, look at you. Can we clap it up for there? What you say, you didn't really want to be in Beaumont, yet you are, and so you're making it do what it do.
Yeah,
It's a
I am.
favorite
I
line
am.
of Willie Childs. Good for you. I'm so proud of you. That's good. And Milan Elise Stallings, how about you? What do you want people to know about you?
That's crazy, my full name. Okay, so I don't know. I feel like there's already a lot, kind of know about me. But for the people who don't know, I went to University of North Texas. I majored in merchandising and digital retailing, And I currently live in Dallas. I've been here for almost a year now. Feels like, so yeah.
And I miss her every day and I want to go like see her all the time, but I don't. So yeah.
We
So
talk
proud
all
of
the
you too.
time.
Yeah, so you're out there. You're doing it. I mean, you're living on your own. When you say you're in Beaumont, Leslie, you're adulting. Milan, you live in Dallas. University of North Texas is about an hour north of the Dallas area in Denton. So you did all your undergrad there and decided to stay. So you've been gone for a minute, Milan, about 5 years or so. And so let's get into it. Right. Arlene is saying that's what us adults do. We say your whole entire name. And so, Leslie, do you have a middle name? What's your little middle name?
I do.
I'm not gonna tell the people.
Girl.
This is a whole story behind it. My name is Marie, but I prefer Marie. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go with that then. Okay, so I won't use your whole full name. Yeah, thank you for sharing with us. So let's get into it. I got some questions. How do you all define or see adulting? I mean, just jump right in there. There's the textbook definition. Yet, what have been your experiences? How would you define it? And whoever wants to jump in, go right ahead.
I'll go first.
Okay. All right. So for adulting, I feel like with adulting, it means to me that, you have to change the way you think about a lot of things, your mindset and the way you maneuver through life, because when you transition from college to being independent more so, getting a job, full-time job, having to pay bills. You can't really necessarily think about, okay, when I get my first check, let me go to the store and spend it all. No, you got rent. So I feel like it's just being more mature in the way you handle certain things in your life.
Okay, good. Being more mature. It's a mindset. Milan, how about you as you define it? What would you say?
I agree with Leslie. I think that's like a great point, and that's one aspect of it. I define it as kind of literally the everyday of being an adult and kind of transitioning from either high school, living with your parents, going to college, kind of having more freedom, not a lot of responsibilities, not a lot to think about, to then, in my case, living alone, cooking dinner, doing all those things. So it's what Leslie said about having that mature mindset, but also like doing the day to day of being an adult and kind of self sustaining yourself.
I think it's interesting when you say doing the day to day. And I've said this to people. One of the cutest things, and I say cute because I did get a chuckle, and I'll share this with the world. Milan, remember you called me one day and you're like, Mom, like every day you got meals together for all of us, for me, you and Daddy. I was like, yep. She's like, so all of my life, you went to the grocery store every week or however often. You figured out what we were going to eat. You made sure I had breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, right? And I was like, mm-hmm. She's like, I
I
give you some
literally told
props.
someone this the other day. I was like, I don't know how she did it. Cause I'm like, you come home from work and then you cook a meal and then you clean the kitchen. Like, you do this every day, Monday through Friday. I'm like, girl. And then I'm like, you had to feed me? She's like, yeah, you had to eat. I'm like, you should let me go to bed because there's so many times I'm like, oh no, we're gonna go to right to sleep. Them dishes, I'll do that tomorrow. Oh no, we like, and I used to just not really do leftovers just because I was like, oh, like it'll be food tomorrow, whatever else. Now I'm like, if I go out to eat or anytime I'm cooked, I'm like, oh, we gotta get those leftovers because I'm not cooking tomorrow.
So
Yep.
adulting, the mundane things, it's the everyday stuff. And to Leslie's point, it's about your mindset, how you're viewing things, and being responsible. Because you're right, you could go take that money, you get paid and run out and spend it, but you've got to take care of the regular everyday things. So I appreciate your definitions. So tell me, and Milan, I'll pivot to you, and then we'll just go back and forth like that. What's been good as you think about the good, exciting, fun parts of moving into this adult phase? What would you say, Milan?
I'm not gonna lie, there's not a lot of fun parts. Those bills, so I'm serious. I'm not gonna lie. That's only one aspect. But on a positive note, I think kind of learning yourself and having a freedom is really fun. Like obviously I can kind of live alone, do whatever I want, like, things like that. So I say that's a fun aspect, and just kind of figuring yourself out, figuring out what you like, what you don't like. That's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's like the really main part. Not
Okay,
gonna
and that's
lie.
good. That's fine. You're like
Yeah.
being by yourself, and you tend to be kind of a loner. You like you're more introverted, if you will. You call yourself an ambivert sometimes, and so I can appreciate that. Just you get to move around in your space, and so that's good. Leslie, how about you? What are the things you enjoy about this adulting phase?
Oh man. Well, like Milan say, yes, yes, yes. I definitely agree with what Milan said about her, the good part of, you know, adulting. Um, for me, I would say literally coming home and not having to, if I have clothes on the floor, I just look at it and
Mhm.
nobody says like, go pick that up. I'm just like, I'll pick it up tomorrow. And I
Mhm.
walk off. And it's just, feeling comfortable, feeling free, in my own space. And I don't have to uh go to bed on time. Like sometimes I pull an all-nighter. I stay up to about 12 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 6:40 to go to work on time, and nobody's like, hey, wake up, you need to wake up. Oh, it's fine. I'm okay, And I think also trying to figure out um during my free time what I need to do. Like I picked up personal training. I have a personal trainer. I train every Monday and Wednesday. That I love that because not only am I working on myself, I'm working on myself in a healthy way. So
Mm,
yeah.
mhm. That is so good. I love it. I hear threads from both of you of this getting to know yourself, getting in touch with yourself, becoming more aware of things for yourself. So that's really cool. That for sure, me who's been along the way and others who are on, I think they would agree that we continue to evolve. And so I'm so proud of both of you as you're in that space. So give me the flip side. Milan, you already did. I was going to say, what are some of the challenges that adulting presents? And Leslie, we'll start with you. Milan, we know you're going to talk about them bills.
Mm.
So, Leslie, how about you? Some of the challenges that adulting has presented as you've observed it.
So I'm gonna agree with Milan too. New bills. Not too long ago, I just got an email saying that I need to go ahead and pay my student loans.
Mm.
So it's just every time I get myself situated financially, there's always a bill. And so when I read the email, I was like, that is a lot. Like I went to school and now I gotta pay for it. But I would say bills and then also free time too. Like I said, free time is a pro and a con. When I was in college, I had so much free time. Like I be able to stay in my room, watch movies, go out with friends and all that. But I work full time every day. Come home at 6 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go to bed. I don't want to eat. I'm not trying to cook. I'll wake up in the morning and start my day again. But I guess trying to make time because I always said I wanted to travel, and so I just haven't had that free time, to travel. And
Mhm,
yeah, it's I think that's the hardest part. And then trying to figure out what I want to do
mhm,
as far as like if I want to play tennis. Hey, I want to play tennis, but where do I have the free time to do that? And
mhm,
so,
mhm,
yeah, so
mhm,
that's like the
mhm.
challenging part of it.
I got you. And you know what? I really appreciate your transparency in that. I don't know if there's any older adult who's listening now or will check this out later who could say, here's the real formula, here's exactly what you need to do. Because I think again, it's a journey and we all continue to work through it and on it. So I love that you're exploring those things. And again, your transparency around that. That's really cool. Milan, how about you? We are all in agreement around the bills and that's a whole thing. And other challenges that maybe you've experienced.
I will say I kind of echo the bills part. I joke about it, but that really is like a hard thing. Just because I think when I was younger, as an only child, from my experience, or just in general, not even bills, but the dinner, going somewhere, it's like it's already kind of handled. You don't have to think about it. And so, in a very like real aspect, once you are in this new adult world, it's like you're thinking about all these things, like and that kind of ties into my point of there's just like a lot that's on your own individually that you have to figure out, to Leslie's point of like, well, what am I going to do with my life? Like, I can't, call my dad, I can't call you, can't call TT or Ari, like, hey, so what should I do? It's like you have that freedom to make that choice. And I think it's a pro and a con. And just being, I think our generation is a little different. And we're very much like, yeah, I don't have to work here forever. Like, I'm not, going to stay here. So I think that's like a thing. Like, do I want to stay here or do I want to go? So figuring out those little things, or even like friendship challenges, or just anything that comes up, like, just going to church or anything, like, okay, so how do I feel about this? What decision do I want to make? How do I want to take control of my life? So I say that's a challenge of just kind of figuring out what's the best for you at this point in life, rather than like, oh, let me just call my mom and she'll, tell me what to do or figure it out. Or like, oh, let me just call my dad or Harry or CT or something like that.
So juggling all the balls, the decisions, different things like that. And I hear you. And so I'm not trying to stay in this low place like, ooh, what's really hard about it. It's just these are the parts of it that do exist. And here's what I'm proud of. I don't hear that you all say you've thrown in the towel and like, I'm not gonna do this. You're in there, you're in the game and you're doing it. You're both working full time each day. You're handling the bills, you're doing the things that need to be done, you're making the decisions, you're choosing, and that's really cool. So you're great role models for others and for all of us. So we're super proud of you. I just want you to know that. Okay. So talk to me about some things that maybe we as parents did or maybe didn't do that helped to prepare you. Now, this isn't about bash your parents. What this is about is to be able to say, okay, that was a good move, because there's no guidebook that comes with parenting and this age and generation. What do we do? So we try to do our best. Yet, as you think back, what were some things that were maybe really helpful in preparing you or not? Milan, you want to start?
Yeah, I can start. I think I said this before, but I think for my parents or for you guys, like you, it's one thing to say it, and it's a one thing to be like, "This is what's gonna happen," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like, I'm not there yet, but whatever you say. So I think that was harder, just being like, you're saying, it's tough out there, and you work, and there's no summer vacation, and you got to pay the bills. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever you say, like we'll cross that bridge when you get there. And then it comes and it's like, oh, so this is what y'all were talking about. Like this is hard, like, oh, might need a rewind. So I think that was hard, of hearing and not really seeing, but I think it was good of just kind of hearing it and just being like, okay, I know it's kind of coming. It's already in my brain, but it's like, it's only so much I can say or do until I actually get to that point. For me, I think a positive was, that you guys just exposed me to a lot of different environments. I think that was really good. They all may have contributed in some way or another and added up to the experience to get me where I am today. So I think that was a good thing. You, Mom, definitely were like, let's go here, let's do this. I want to put you in this. And I'm like, I don't want to be in this. So it helped me to figure out things like I don't want to do, or like, why am I doing this? But, that experience helped me get to where I am today. So I think exposure was really good.
That's good to hear you say that. And I think us as parents, we do drag our kids around. We're going to put you in the choir. We're going to put you in the kids thing. You're going to be in a play. You're going to play an instrument. You're going to do sports. And the idea is to expose you to things so then you can see what fits, what doesn't fit. So appreciate you sharing that. And, both sides of the coin. I'm open to that. Very good. Leslie, how about you? Things that your parents did. It's not a bashing. It's just to help parents who have kids who are moving toward where you are, because you're that young Gen Z, just after that millennial cutoff, and it's helpful. So, what would you say? Some things that your folks did, Leslie, or said?
Um, I'm I'm a very observant person, so I I normally don't talk, to like my parents, like have a conversation with them. I just observe what they do. And so there's a lot of things that I've learned not to do, and there's a lot of things that I learned not that I can do. And so I think the portraying the uh seeing the sides of both, it kind of helped me as well. And then also having mentors in my life also helped me, even if I wasn't able to verbally talk to my parents about certain things. So like Buki for one thing, I always went to her for guidance, whether it was for financial aid, whether it was for simply, a relationship that I had, or something that I was battling mentally. She was always there, and she would always guide me like, hey, before she passed away, she told me, she said, Lee, do you want me to send you a accounting book from Amazon? I'll go ahead and ship it to you now. And I told her no. And so now I have an accounting book because I needed it. And so, so I'm still learning, and I'm still learning from, my parents, and they always taught me to be generous and to always follow through and be strong in who I am and know who I am as, a
Mhm.
child of God, and as, a woman, as um, a human, And so there's some things that I take, and there's some things I don't take, from them. So yeah.
That's good. That's good. I love it. I love it. Your mom expressing super proud of you. And just for everybody, we put the little note in the chat. Somebody may be going, "Who's Buki?" Buki is your grandmother. That's Pam Jones, who we lost earlier this year. And so big impression on your life. Here's another theme that I hear from the both of you. Milan, you talked about me and Ron as your parents. You talked about Ariane is your cousin, who I say is your second mom, and Titi is Ivy. So these people, your village, the people around you have helped to influence as well. I hear that from the both of you. So mentors, parents, and so those things, it sound like, have really made a huge difference in helping to get you to where you are. And it sounds like you're both continuing to tap into those, and that's a good thing. Um, I was going to ask something, but it just went away from me. So let me ask this other one. So if you could talk to your younger self, if you could go back and talk to your younger self and tell your younger self about getting ready or what it'll be like to be at this stage, or just like, hey, don't be scared, or whatever that might be, what would you say to your younger self? So we'll start with Leslie, and then Milan, I'll pivot to you. Oh, and it just came back to me. So hold that question. Hold that, because this would happen when you get older too. Things go away, then they come back. So here's what came to mind. Milan, you said to me one day, I was asking you something, and you said, Mom, you think I don't have any home training? And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I do. But it was in response to, I don't know, I think you were like not just cleaning up, but doing something really responsible. And I was like, oh, did you just do that? And you said, yes. You think I don't have home training. And what that says to me is some of what you all were commenting on, you listen to us. That's what I think I hear as well. Leslie and Milan, you guys really do listen to what your parents have said, the mentors, the family members, and it may not show up right at that moment. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it'll show up later on. Am I correct, ladies?
For sure. Like,
Yep.
you will think sometimes I have no home training, but I'm like, I really do know how to act, or like I do know how to clean up my apartment. Like, it may not be every day, but it happens every now and then. Just we gonna get to it. It's gonna get done.
Yeah.
But no, I think, yeah. So sometimes there's things that like anyone in my circle will say, and it might look like it's going in one ear and out the other, but I like some stuff, it really does make an impact. Or I'm like, okay. So it does. It may not look like I'm always listening or it always does hit, but I think things do. And when it's kind of repetitive, that's really good as well. So it just depends on what it is, but it does make an impact sometimes.
It does. And
Yeah.
and that just, Leslie, when you were talking, it made me think of that. So I'm so glad that came back to me. What were you going to say, Leslie, before you jump on the other question I asked?
I was gonna say yes. I'm a stubborn person, so I have to hit my head on the wall a few times for me to really like, okay, that's what she meant. okay, let me go ahead and use that advice because I'm gonna need it now. I have to see for myself, which is crazy. Don't ever do that, because you end up somewhere where you're not supposed to be. And but no, like I definitely agree. Sometimes I may look at because you can see how I feel on my face,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times when like my mom would say something to me, and I'll just look at her like. Like I don't care, but really, I am listening, but I'm really not, but I am listening.
So here's the takeaway for the parents on who your children are a little bit younger, they're shorties, or they're getting toward these young adult ages. Keep on, don't stop. I think one of you made a point about repetition. So continue sharing the lessons. And I think something I'm learning is the way that I share is different now. I can't just tell you, Milan. I kind of can, but I want you to keep talking. So I really hear you both saying you may not take it in right then, but you're hearing it, you're processing it, you're parking it somewhere in your heart or your head, and it's going to bubble up later, and you're tapping into that. So that's really good. Parents, don't stop. It
And I'll
does.
say also, sorry to interrupt you,
No,
Mom.
no.
To your point of what you were saying, like the repetition and things like that, or showing or something, I think that's a big thing too, is like showing and how you show it. Like it doesn't necessarily always have to be like a hard lesson, like, come here, I'm going to show you this or whatever. It could just be like, hey, like, in your everyday task or anything, whether your child is small or older or something, I think showing also plays a big part because there might have been some stuff that you do, Mom, that you may think like I'm not paying attention to or anybody else is paying attention to. But I noticed and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, just little things like that. I know one of the big things, like, well, it's not big, but kind of small, is one time you were mopping and instead of like kind of trapping yourself in, you like work your way backwards. Like you and Daddy have kind of always showed me that, like start from the top or start backwards and then work your way down, whether it's like running errands or mopping or something like that. So it's not something that you necessarily said, but it's something that like, you've showed kind of whether through cleaning or if we're running errands or something like that. So it's like those words that are repetitive, but also those actions that are like, yeah, instead of, starting here and then driving all over, start your way from their farthest point and then work your way back to the house. So I think actions play a big part too in how you show it a lesson or something.
I know there was a God. I said that girl. She was listening. Thank you, Jesus.
I didn't tell you this.
Okay, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we're going to pivot to that question about what would you say to your younger self. I just want to reinforce we have some parents on. You've got little bitty people, and then, ooh, my mom is here, your grandmother's here, Milan, and we've got parents. And those lessons, they're trickled down. So we're so proud when we see you all out and you're handling the bills and you're figuring it out and you're still talking and asking questions and you're getting up every day and you're doing the work. I just want to say this real quick. I maybe said it before. I know that things stick. When Milan, you were really, really little, and I was taking you to daycare often, and every morning we'd pray. This is the story. We'd pray. And I'd pray, and you were little. And one morning, you could talk and walk and stuff, but one morning it was a bad morning. Everything was going wrong. And we were walking out. And Daddy used to work downtown. He'd leave early. So I'd have to get us to daycare, get you to daycare. And then I'd fly out or do something. And one morning I was scooting along and we didn't pray. And you said, Mommy, are we going to pray? And I was like, no. And you're like, well, we got to pray. And I was like, well, you pray. And I kind of said it. You were really little. And I said, you pray, being really flip. You grabbed my hand and you stomped those little feet and you prayed and you said, dear God. And I was like, she been listening. Oh, she been listening. Thank you, Lord. And so that just brought me back to what you and Leslie were both saying. You're hearing it. And so parents of young adults or little people who are going to be young adults, they may give us face. They're taking it in. They're taking it in. So let's go here. Let's go here. Leslie, what would you say to your younger self? And we're going to get ready to wrap this up because y'all start early in the morning. What would you say to your younger self about adulting?
I would say, where God is taking you, you have to let some stuff go.
Mm,
You can't carry it on to the next destination that he's preparing you for. And it's going to hurt. It's going to take time, but you're strong and you have a heart of gold. And do not let other people's opinion affect who you are, because the only opinion that matters is from God.
Mm-hmm.
And
Girl, I say this every time we're on here. If you didn't make Bible study Wednesday or church on Sunday, it don't matter because you're going to get a word right here. Leslie, we could open the doors of the church right now behind that. Woo. Yes, that's so good. That's so good. And what I love, we're going to have this recorded so we can always check it out and others can. That was wonderful. Milan, how about you? What would you say to your younger self about getting to this phase and space?
There's so much I would like say to my younger self, but I think one of the biggest things is that you don't have to try to fit in. You don't have to try to make yourself like everyone else. I would tell her she's special just the way she is, and just be confident and just work on instilling that. That's like the biggest thing. And then kind of for me, like those practical things are just really important. So I would say whatever you can do to kind of prepare yourself for adulting. Like if it's, just like taking a summer class, like, I mean, you don't have to do that, but, things like that, those little things to kind of help you. And then I would say everything works out, like, stress in the moment, but just know it's literally all going to come together to get you to where I am today. So, just, it's kind of cliche, but like keep trusting the process, stay on the path. Like you're doing good, it's, I promise it's going to work out.
Aw, I love that. I love that. I love those things that you would say to your younger selves. And I hope those are things, I pray that those are things you remind yourself of today as you're moving along. I'm gonna pull this together so I can honor our time, those who are on, and for both of you, because you've got early mornings. Just any parting things that you would share with adults, with parents who are on now or who are listening or will listen later, something that they could help where you are right now, where you are, like, what is the thing, Milan, as you think about it, me and daddy can do, and your circle of mentors and those who love you. Leslie, the same for you. Is there anything that we as adults and parents and folks who love and embrace you all can do for where you are right now to help you get to your next level? Any thoughts?
I would say in every action, be genuine, let it come from a place of love, compassion. And even if we make mistakes, or if we don't do as you say, or what you think that we should do, continue, to love and to show grace and mercy, because that goes a long way. Trust and believe. So yeah,
Grace and mercy.
that's my advice. That's my tip.
That's good. That's good. Milan, how about you? What would you say to me, daddy, everybody else to support and help you right where you are now?
Um, I think my generation, my age group is in, different times. We operate differently. So it might not look like how things were whenever you guys grew up, not in a negative way. It's just things are different, things are changing. And change can be hard, it can look scary. So I think the biggest thing is just like I'm figuring it out along with the rest of the world, with the rest of you guys. I think I have a privilege of being young and kind of being like, okay, well, I can do this, I can do that. And, it's going to be okay. No true responsibilities right now. Just having a lot of freedom. So I think my circle can just support in like knowing that I'm figuring it out and I'm trying my best. And like Leslie said, just showing love and grace and things like that. And then with their actions and words, and just as I like to pour into them pouring into me, whether it's like my Aunt Ivy who will like pull as she climbs, or my cousin Ari who's like, let's go on this trip together, or just being like, I'm gonna go hang out with my mom. So just kind of doing those things with their actions or with those words, like keep pouring into me. As I get older, like it doesn't necessarily stop when, I'm like, oh, well, I don't live there anymore.
Mhm. Keep pouring. I love that. And pour with grace and mercy. Uh, pour. So all of us adults, wherever we are, our kids or somebody else's, recognize and honor that they are figuring it out and they still need us. I think I hear you all saying that too. Like you still need us. Am I correct?
Hmm.
Look at Leslie is shaking her head. Not really. Not really. Not really.
I mean, I'm quick to sure. What's the
Need you.
issue?
That's me. I'll call you when I need you. I'll call you. And if I don't call you, I don't need you. I got it.
You got it. So it depends. So know your child, know that young adult, and give them space, and give them grace. That's awesome. I think the piece that I want to wrap up on is this. I think you all are cooking and working on something. Am I correct? Are you all getting ready to thinking about doing some things? What is that?
Yeah.
Are you ready to let the people know there's something on the horizon?
There
Yeah.
is.
I'm super excited.
What is
I,
it?
I, so me and Milan came together and we decided to start a podcast. And it is going to be phenomenal. It's for everyone, like literally everyone, male, female, child, teenager, young adult, college student. It's for everyone. And it's going to be open. It's going to be hot. It's going to be we're going to be humble, open and transparent about things. It's going to be real, but we're going to have faith in it and believe that
Come
God
on
is
with the
going to
preach
do
word
amazing things in
tonight.
our
Come on with the preach
Okay.
word. Okay. So a
so yeah.
podcast. Can we give it up? These two young ladies are going to start a podcast. And here's what I love. You all been talking, you have meetings, you have conversations, you're really planning, you're strategizing. So it's not a, seat of the pants kind of thing. And I'm really proud. And so keep us posted when you go live, when you launch it. And if it's for everybody, maybe some mamas can come on there a week and talk or something if y'all have that going one week or something like that. So, hey, I am
Yeah.
super proud of you. Any closing words, anything just in parting that you want to drop on us? And I'm going to let you go. And I've got some little love gifts I'm going to send you all. So watch your emails or your text. Anything parting stuff
Can
for
I
us?
put a bill under the Christmas tree this year?
Girl.
Because that's all.
Yes. On my Christmas list, pay my rent. Please pay
Ooh,
my
no.
rent. Pay my rent. That's
Rent,
what I need.
electricity.
That's my Christmas list.
I'm so proud because my
Okay, pay my
electricity was
rent.
low. I kept all my lights off last month. I said, turn them lights off, unplug. I was so proud. I got the statement. I said,
You
ooh,
know
yes,
about
it is
Milan.
low.
She comes through the house now. She's like, why you got them lights on? She flips light switches off. She's like, too many lights on.
I'm
Oh,
like, unplug, girl.
when it's on your
Yep.
bill, you want the lights off. We're supposed to sit in the dark, but everybody else, all the lights. Oh my gosh, you guys are too much. Listen, I love you. Big hearts to both of you. I really, really do. Thank you for being on. I know you have early mornings, and so thank you. Hey, and if you all will do this, those who've been here, put a little note in the chat how this was helpful to you, any nugget that you got. So when they go back and look at it, they're able to see, because we prayed before we got on and I asked that somebody be blessed, that God would allow somebody to be blessed or get something, some encouragement. So let them know in the chat so they can check it out. Leslie, I love you. I'm super proud of you. Yeah, big ups to you. I'm one of your people who will always and forever be in your corner. I'm not your bookie, but I'm right there with you. Okay. So I'm going to tell you good night and pop you out. You rest well. You have an amazing day. Okay. And so appreciate you. I'll be in touch. And Milan, my heart.
Hey,
Love you too.
Sean.
Hey, Mess. Okay, I call her Mess. It's her name, Milan Elise Stallings, so she's a mess. Okay, so I love you, sweetie. I'll talk to you later. Thanks again for being on. Okay,
Love you.
love you. Night, night. Hey, and thanks to each one of you for being on. My goal, it's different topics, and I'm never about how many people are right here, and that's not a bad thing if folks are focused on the quantity. I'm focused on the quality, and the quality of tonight was to hear from some millennial young ladies. I was trying to get some young men on, but their schedules didn't work. So, and I'm working to diversify more of the guests that I have on. So I'll be tapping some of you and a host of other folks. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. What you can always do is check out the replay if you're not able to be here live. or share when I go live so that others might be encouraged by what we're doing here. So thank you. I appreciate it. We'll see you back in a couple of weeks. I know it'll be holiday, so it might we might take a break as it's right after Thanksgiving and then kick off December, because December is my birthday month. December is my birthday month. So we'll see what we've got going. Have some great guests lined up. Thank you. Remember, we're here every week. It's about winning without perfection or permission in every area of our lives. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. Good night. Love and appreciate you bunches. Take care. Bye-bye.